Hey, Nathan here. I just got finished with the DirectX video and that's being processed on YouTube, so it should be finished shortly. In this video, I want to discuss a couple things. One of the things is about the new web design, and the other thing is about the tutorials coming out in the next few weeks. So let's start with the new web design. A couple months ago, I wanted to create a new web design that was a responsive web design. Now, for those of you that do not know, a responsive web design is the design changes whenever you, depending on what the size of the screen you're viewing it with. So if you're using a phone, the design is different than if you're using a 27-inch computer monitor. But it's the same site. I don't have to create a mobile site. I just need to make a responsive design that will fit for mobile. So, I've been working on the web design work for that, and this is the current design. So I'll just show you the current design, and then I'll show you the new design. So the current design has everything centered. There's a lot of empty space on the left and the right. Everything's centered. Whenever you click tutorials or games, it'll display a drop down, and you can select something from that list. Games does the same thing. It'll display the last tutorial, and then if you click play here, it'll display it inline. And if you go into the tutorials, XNA Basics, it'll list you the list of tutorials that the series has. And then if you click on, let's say, Introduction, it'll take you to the YouTube page itself. It'll take you there. You can download the episode if that series allows it. Not all series allows you to download the episode. So that's the current design. That if you click Introduction, it'll take you to the YouTube page itself. And everything's centered, and it doesn't matter if you're looking at it using a small screen or a large screen. Alright, so the new design. The new design is a responsive design, and not all browsers support responsive design. We're using media queries to do this. So not all browsers support that. If your browser does not, it'll stop at 960 wide. But since my browser does, whenever you get smaller, it will. Let's change this back to Edge default. It will modify itself to fit that design. So one of the important things is not taking you to a different page. So this is the last tutorial, and I also show you the last few tutorials. So you click, cycle through, click, and these are the last few tutorials. Now, if you watch the tutorial here, it will not take you to the YouTube page. It'll display it in a video overlay.
Hey, Nathan here. Welcome.
You can pause. If you resize it, it'll resize it for you. It'll always be centered, but if you get really small, you're going to have to do a horizontal scroll. I just set that up. This is best viewed in the video dimensions, so I always record at 720p. However, I do allow it to go to 960 by 540, and that might be a little bit hard to see. You can make it full screen if you want to, and that's in the controls. You can switch it to HD, you can switch the quality here, or if you want to watch it on YouTube, you can click this and watch it on YouTube. And if you're done watching it, you can click this close, and it'll close. So that's a home page. Categories page. Now, on the old design, there will be no drop down. When you click tutorials, it'll take you to the categories page. That will replace this. This looks kind of boring. My main focus was, how can I get some information to the user without having to click, what's XNA Basics about? All right, I click that. All right, now I read this. All right, now I have to click back. All right, what's XNA Quick Tips? XNA C# Quick Tips. And that's under construction, obviously. What's the Space Shooter series? So I click that, and then I have to read the description. That's not very good. So my focus on this design was to present a screenshot, if it has one. For games, it will. For generic series, where I cover everything, it just has a standard thumbnail. Then I give you the series name and then a description, and then you click View this tutorial series. So this is a box. These are all boxes. And again, if you get into a tablet size, it'll look like this. Everything's on top of each other. But once you get to a desktop size, the minimum is 960 wide. But once you get wider and wider, I add more to the width. As you see here, I only display 4. Once I get a certain width, now I display 5. Once I'm full, you can't really see this, but I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 wide. That's using my 2560 by 1440 resolution. So 1920 by 1080, I still display, as you see, when I make this bigger, the thumbnail gets bigger, and then the boxes get bigger. So that was the focus on this design. Now let's show you one last thing. This is in development. What was it? Let's just go to this here. So this is going to be centered. As you see, this is still in development. The listing will basically be the same, but I will center this. This portion will be centered, and the listing will be basically what we have here. It'll look like this. Instead of standard links like YouTube playlist, that's a little bit hard to see if you're not looking for it. So on here, there's a giant button looking thing that you click YouTube playlist, and then it will take you to the YouTube playlist. When you click the tutorials, instead of taking you to the YouTube page, it'll take you to not categories, index. It'll take you to the video overlay. Oops. Allow block content. It'll take you to the video overlay. So instead of taking you to the YouTube page, my main focus was any tutorial will display this box. And then you can close it, click a different tutorial, and then watch that. That's much faster than taking you to the YouTube page, closing the tab, going back here, clicking the different tutorial, and then doing it that way.
Nathan.
So as you see, I still have a lot of work left to do, especially on the basic training. Especially on this. It's not fully finished yet. Once that's done, all the other tutorial series sections will have that same layout, and then I could just deploy that. So I just wanted to give you progress on where I am. It'll be a few more weeks left. And then after that, hopefully the new design will be much better than the old design. Especially these buttons. If I have a download for you, a resource for you, like download this image file for this series, it won't be a standard link like this is. It'll be a button like this, the YouTube playlist. It'll be a button right next to there that you can click. So that's my main focus, is to make things easier on the user. If they go to the tutorials list, what is XNA Basic Training? Well, it's right there. You don't have to click on the V-Tutorial series to see what it's about. So once I get farther, I'll release another video, and if you want me to go into the code, let's just bring that up right now. For those of you that are interested, I'm using Edge, Adobe Edge, CC. Alright, so if I go into the code, this is the main.css file. And to get the responsive design, I'm using media queries to do that. So if the maximum screen width, if the maximum width is 640 pixels, I changed some of the styles. And if it's higher than 2048, I changed some of the styles as well. As you mentioned, I listed 8 on here whenever I'm at full resolution. So that style has been changed because it's higher than 2048 pixels. Okay, so that was it for this. Now for the tutorials, let's go to here. Forums, tutorials, resume. Alright, I just did a DirectX 9 tutorial. I'm also going to continue C++ Artificial Intelligence and my Let's Plays. The C++ and AI will resume a few weeks from now. I'm not sure when the Let's Plays will resume. There's a lot more work left to do before I can play games and record them. I want to get the website done before that, and I want to get the DirectX 9 tutorials, a lot more of those out before I start doing those again. But C++ and Artificial Intelligence should start in a few weeks from now. I want to get more DirectX 9 tutorials out before then. Tutorial should be available right now. Yes, it is uploaded and ready to be viewed. Alright, so that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I have one more video to make today, and that's to discuss a game project. So stay tuned.